Once upon a time, in the heart of a thick green forest, a great brown bear lumbered through the underbrush. The sun was shining, birds were singing in the trees, and all seemed peaceful in the woods. But the bear was not in a good mood. He had been wandering for hours, and his stomach growled with hunger. Berries were few, fish were scarce, and he hadn't caught even a whiff of honey all day. His patience, like his energy, was running low. As he trudged along, the bear caught a sweet, sticky scent in the air. His nose twitched. He paused, sniffed again, and turned his head toward a nearby tree. High up in its thick branches, nestled between leaves and bark, hung a small beehive. Golden drops of honey glistened at the edges. The bear's eyes widened. "At last," he muttered, licking his lips, "a proper meal." Without a second thought, the bear stood on his hind legs and gave the tree a hard shake. The beehive trembled but held firm. Impatient, the bear swatted at it with his massive paw, knocking part of the hive loose. Honey oozed out, warm and golden. He licked it eagerly, barely tasting it before reaching for more. But in his greed, the bear had forgotten one important thing: bees protect their home fiercely. From the broken hive poured a swarm of angry bees. Their buzzing grew louder, like the roar of a tiny storm. They flew straight at the bear, stingers ready. Startled and suddenly in pain, the bear roared and tried to swat them away, but they came at him from all sides. One bee stung his ear, another his nose. A third got under his fur and jabbed his back. The bear twisted and turned, growling in frustration, but the bees kept coming. In his fury, the bear struck the tree again, harder this time. He knocked the rest of the hive to the ground and crushed it beneath his paws. Honey splattered everywhere, but so did more bees. Even more furious now, they swarmed around him with renewed anger. The bear ran, crashing through the forest like a thunderstorm, bees in hot pursuit. He dove into a nearby pond, submerging himself completely. The cold water soothed his stings and drove the bees away, but the damage was done. When the bear finally crawled out, soaked and sore, his fur was full of welts, his nose swollen, and his mood worse than ever. Sitting by the water's edge, the bear groaned. "All I wanted was a little honey," he grumbled, "just a taste." But then he looked back toward the trees and realized his mistake. His desire for a small reward had led him to lash out with great force. In trying to satisfy his hunger quickly and carelessly, he had brought much more trouble upon himself than the bees ever would have, had he simply waited or been gentle. The forest around him grew quiet again, as if it too was reflecting on the chaos. A breeze rustled the leaves, and a squirrel darted out from a bush, eyeing the bear cautiously. The bear sighed and shook his head. That day, he learned a painful but important lesson. In seeking revenge or reacting with violence to small annoyances, one often creates much greater problems. Had he taken only a small bit of honey and left the hive in peace, or approached it more carefully, he might have gotten what he wanted without the painful consequences. But by attacking the hive in anger and greed, he brought the entire swarm upon himself. From then on, the bear was more thoughtful. When he saw bees buzzing about a tree, he gave them space, and when he did come across honey, he took only what he needed, never disturbing the hive too much. The memory of the painful stings stayed with him, a reminder that sometimes restraint and patience are far wiser than force and fury. And so the forest returned to its peaceful rhythm. Birds sang again, the breeze whispered through the branches, and the bear, wiser and humbler, roamed the woods with a new understanding of the balance between desire and consequence. The moral of the story: it is better to bear a single injury in silence than to bring upon oneself 1,000 by reacting in anger.